So welcome to everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Lloyd Daly, and today what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at hosting Zoom calls and doing Zoom calls and doing Zooms and such like. So during the call at some stage, I am going to be unmuting everyone because that's what the course dictates. So if you are in a particular area where it is particularly noisy, then do feel free just to re-mute yourself at that point. So what we're looking at today is why do Zoom calls. Now, many of you I can see have been on Zoom calls before. Just some basics on Zoom. They're a fantastic way to grow your business, not just doing a team call like we're doing now, but one-on-one Zooms, two-to-one Zooms and stuff like that. And I do a lot of Zoom calls in the building of my business. And when a new person joins the business, we're often doing two-on-one Zooms with prospects and stuff like that. And it's great because you can just jump on, show someone the presentation, and in 20 minutes, you're off again. Helps, obviously, the big advantage is if you've got a prospect and they live 100 miles away, then you can get them on a Zoom, you can have a chat, do stuff and whatever, and neither of you need to leave your living room or wherever you do the Zoom from. For the purposes of this call, we're talking about doing Zooms from a PC or laptop or Mac or something like that, not necessarily from a mobile or a tablet, because that is slightly different. So what we're going to do is we're going to look on, I'm going to log on to my account, and we're just going to look on some basics and see how we do some basics, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to share my screen, which is one of the most important things to be able to do. And then we can have a look at around where we are. So I've now shared my screen, and what happens when you share your screen is you've got a couple of options actually, but I've actually shared my desktop. So basically, when you do that, everything that you have on your desktop is viewable by the people on the call. Okay, you can have different options just to share a PowerPoint or to share Word or something like that, but the easiest way to do it is to just share your desktop. What happens then with the view is all the people on the call go down one side of the screen, or it can be the bottom of the screen, and you can see one or two people at a time. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go over some basics. So when you're doing a Zoom call, first things first, be aware of your background. Okay, so if you look at my background there, you've got the map there, you've got the books there, which is all quite good, it's all quite neutral, and especially if you're doing a prospecting call, not anything that's offensive. So you've got to take down your Playboy calendar from behind you and stuff like that, just so that's not showing. I also have, for some of you who know me, you know, I follow Liverpool, and I've got a Liverpool shirt there, okay, which, as funny as it may sound, when I'm doing a Zoom to someone I don't know, I make sure that's not in the background, because you'd be amazed what may put some people off. So that's the background. It's the same with when you're sharing your screen, your browser here. So obviously on a browser you can open up different tabs, and you just want to be making sure that there aren't any tabs here that are open from, shall we say, sites that may offend some people. Okay, and again, you'll be surprised what will offend people. And again, I'll use the Liverpool one there. You can see that tab I've got opened up there that says welcome to Liverpool. Okay, and I'm just using that as an example. So let me go on to my Zoom account. Okay, so when you register a Zoom account, and I recommend this is what you do, even if you only watch Zooms, register a Zoom account that you can log into. And then this is the, if you like, the home page. So this is my profile on Zoom. And the first thing you can do is you can put a picture up there. And why I recommend you put a picture up there is that anytime you need to attend a Zoom that for some reason that you don't want your camera on, rather than pointing at the ceiling or just having an image of yourself of a shadow, if you put a picture up there that when you turn off your camera, and I'll demonstrate, then that picture comes up. Okay, and it's much better. So if I stop my camera there, you should see a picture, a nice picture of Helen and myself. So I'd recommend just to put a picture up there. Could be something utility warehouse related if you wanted to, or something personal to you. So if I look at my profile, we all have a personal meeting ID. Okay, this is my one. And me personally, I use that for every Zoom I do. Every Zoom I host, I use the same number. You can generate other numbers, but my personal view is use the same number. That way you always remember it. And if there's any doubt, somebody's logging in, then they can use any link that you've ever sent them. Okay, that's your personal ID number there. And then you've just got some basics in the profile regarding your personal details. Nothing there of any significance. So when you're setting up a meeting, if we go to my meeting setup on the left hand side there, I'm just going to move massively. Cool. So you can set up and schedule meetings, and these are just some of the settings you can do. So schedule meeting features. So this is what happens when you start a meeting. Okay, you can set up a meeting to start with participant videos and your videos switched off. And I prefer to use this because sometimes people are joining a Zoom, maybe for the first time, sometimes for the second, third time, fourth time, and they don't realize that it involves the camera. And sometimes they don't realize that the camera's on. Okay. And in the past, in some Zoom calls, we've seen some odd things going on in people's living rooms that I'm sure they would prefer us not to have seen. Okay. So I take the precaution of starting all meetings with people's videos off. So they then have to physically turn them on. Same with my one as well. Audio, we just use standard of phone and computer audio. Okay. Join before host, I have that switched off because I don't want people being able to interact. It's nothing to worry about, but I want people to be interacting when I join the meeting. So I don't want meetings starting before me. Use personal meeting when scheduling meetings. Sorry, personal ID, I've spoken about that. Use personal ID as well when doing an instant meeting. That's just where you've got maybe two people, just jump on and you just use that. I don't use passwords, and again, as well as the camera, I have people muted when they come on first. Okay, and then we've got lots of things about calendar integration and stuff which I don't use. And for basic just doing Zooms, you don't really need to worry about that. So if I go to my meetings, you've got in there, oh, before I do that, actually, go back to meeting schedule. When it comes to recording, you've got two options basically. You can set it up to record automatically, in which case it starts the recording from the moment you log on, okay? Or you can start the recording, you can set it up that it records when you start pressing the button, okay? The only advantage and difference there is if you do it automatically, you get there's usually a minute or two at the beginning of chit chat and stuff like that. So if you can remember to click record, then just click record at the time you want to actually start. And all the recordings are done to your local device, so it's all saved on your PC or laptop. So going back to my meetings, and this is where you can schedule meetings and stuff like that. Very simple to use, it's all very intuitive, and you can just set them up, and then you can have a diary of the meetings you've got. Again, when you're just doing meetings, maybe your teams in 2s and 3s, you don't really need these functionalities. And then down the left you can see it's got my recordings, and then it goes into much more advanced user stuff that I don't use. And if you find out what they are and if they're useful, then please tell me. Okay, so that's sort of how you set up a meeting. Once you're in a meeting, you will have the screen, And let me just see what I see. So if I come out of screen share, this is the usual view you'll see. So you'll see a bank of lovely faces as people are watching. You can change that to what we call speaker view. So if I change mine, I don't think it's going to show on yours, but if I change mine to speaker view, then it's just a picture of me and thumbnails down the right hand side, and then whoever's speaking, their picture will come out as the main one. So I like to have it on gallery view, so I can keep an eye on what's going on as well, because sometimes things are happening in people's living rooms that you've got to be aware of. Okay, so I've got it in gallery view, and when I want to share, okay, at the bottom, if you put the mouse over the bottom of the screen, you'll have the toolbar come up, or you can set it up that the toolbar's already there, and then a green box, it says share. So I click on that and share the desktop, and it's sharing like that. Okay, so when I'm doing the zoom off, or I'm doing something I want to share on PowerPoint, again, I just get to the bottom, click PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint presentation will come up. Okay, just like you're showing any PowerPoint, I like to do it on full screen mode, so you can see the presentation there. As you're scrolling through the presentation, okay, you're just using it like a normal, like you normally would PowerPoint, and just be aware that everyone can see what's going on. When it comes to videos, so we show a video, when the video is playing, it's important that you keep quiet. It's also important when the video is playing, actually, that just be aware you're still on camera. Okay, so you want to be sitting there looking interested in the video, not sort of yawning, leaning back, picking your nose or anything like that, because people are going to be still being able to see you. But while the video is playing, just keep quiet. Top tip, and I made this mistake once before, the video was playing and I thought, I know what I'll do, just to take out any background noise, I'll mute myself. Okay, just be aware if a video is playing on your computer and you mute, it mutes the sound on the video. Okay, so if I show you how that works.
Hello. Many years
We've
ago,
got Joanne here, and if I
I went on to have
cool. So that's how that works. At the top here, what's really important, and I can't see, I'm going to, is Hazel on? Where's Hazel? Where's Hazel? I'm going to try and unmute Hazel. Ah, here's Hazel. Hello, Hazel.
Evening, Lloyd.
How are you?
Yeah, fab, thank you. Sorry, I was a couple of minutes late getting the kids to bed tonight.
I hadn't noticed.
Oh,
because I can't see exactly what you guys can see. When I do this, do you see the menu of managed participants?
No,
okay.
no. All I'm seeing at the moment is your is the PowerPoint British success story, and then the tabs down the right, the thumbnails down the right hand side.
Okay, fantastic. So when you're the host, what you do, if you put your mouse up to the top of the screen, another menu comes out, and this is where you can manage. The most important thing in there is manage participants. And so if I click that, a list of everyone who's on the call comes up. Okay, and this is really important for muting people. Okay, so at the moment most people are muted. I can unmute everyone. Okay, and
I wondered how we did that.
You can hear the noise coming in.
Hi. Yeah.
And then I can mute everyone again. Okay, and I can also, on there, there's a tick box where I can actually prevent anybody unmuting themselves. So if you're doing a call and there's lots of people on, then I would mute everyone and then only unmute people as you need to.
I've unmuted myself, by the way.
Okay. And that just allows you to keep control of the call. And I
think that's really important to do as well, because we've all been sat in on calls when when there's been somebody who's had something going on in the background, they haven't been aware, and as a presenter it can be really, really distracting, and you know that all the people who are watching as well can be really distracted by it, but you're trying to go through and keep on going with your presentation whilst also trying to figure out who it is that's making the noise. So things like that are top tips.
Absolutely,
Big difference.
and sometimes it's not even noise in their house, it could be just noise on the line.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're not even aware that it's them that's causing the issue. So if you're operating a call, it's great to know that you're in control and you can mute everyone, and you can also prevent anyone from unmuting themselves. You can also take them out of the meeting if you like, so you can lock their camera and take them off the meeting. And again, in emergency situations, if something's going on in their camera that you think, you know, nobody else needs to see this, then you can actually just chuck someone out as the host. Okay.
Interesting.
So these are some of the basic stuff, and along the top here as well, I can kill my camera again, I can kill my voice and everything like that. So it's really basic, and it's really good that when you're the host, you are in control. You can also set up the settings where if you're feeling a bit nervous, you can give someone else, a third party, host control. Okay, and if you give somebody else host control, then they can do all the stuff that you can do as well.
And is that done via the top menu again?
And that's done by the top menu as well. Okay, so there's lots of stuff that you can do up there. So I'm just going to unshare my stop share. I mean, most of the meetings I do, okay, I don't have to share the screen. So I don't do a presentation where I have to share anything. So if I'm doing a presentation, a meeting or something, I'm just trying to keep it as basic as possible, just talking. But sometimes sharing and doing a PowerPoint is really good. In fact, let me just go back into share, because if you're doing let's say you're doing a prospect call, and let me just get out of this. So if I wanted to do a prospect call and say, show them the presentation, working. Oh, there we go. Then I would share my screen with someone else, and if I go back onto my dashboard, so my browser, this is the Utility Warehouse dashboard. So this is the normal thing that we've all got, and I would then go in from there, find my quick links. This is my quick links. Click here, which is showing the presentation, and in a second it should come up and I'm into the presentation and I can start doing the presentation with someone. Okay, and you can do that with a prospect, go through it, play the videos, and then at the end of it ask them what they want to do. Now it's very important to understand that if you're doing a Zoom and you're speaking to the prospect and they want to join, okay, they need to do the keying in. Okay, I can't do the keying in this end, they have to do the keying in, and then they can join as a customer and a distributor as well. Okay, so if I stop sharing and come back out of here. Okay.
I have one question, Lloyd, in that respect. Can somebody on the meeting share their screen with me? So say, for example, I was doing a telephone appointment or an online Zoom appointment, and we wanted to go through the website together. Obviously, he's going to do the keying in. So if I'm the host, can he share or they share their screen with me so I can see what they're keying in and I can just talk them through it?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So if I go back to here somewhere, if I go back to the settings for when I'm setting up a Zoom meeting, sorry, this thing won't get out of the way.
Try escape, there we are.
Do you know what? Where I want to go is just under where there's a tab is.
Oh, right.
When you set it up, so if I go back to settings, and when it comes to share screen, I hope I'm going to see this, but you can set it up that anyone on the call can share their screen as well. And I think I've done that. I'm not sure. I'll tell you what we'll try and do. We'll try and do this live. So let me stop sharing.
No, I've got it on mine. Keep scrolling. I was going to say, keep scrolling down. I've got it on my other monitor.
So, Hazel, try and share your screen, providing you've got nothing that you shouldn't see on your desktop.
No, I don't think so. Let me put that over
here.
Yeah, let me bring it over here. I don't know which. I've got 2 monitors, so I don't know. Okay, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Host disable. I don't know. Just try and share your screen. Have you got a share screen button?
Yeah, I've got the. I'm pressing it, and it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay. So maybe I've got that switched on. But you can set it up that anyone in the meeting can share their screen.
Yeah, on the setup, I've just had a Zoom scroll down on my meeting settings, and there is a thing saying screen sharing, allow host and participants to share their screen or content during meetings. So as long as you've got that on, you've obviously got yours off, I guess.
Yeah, so you can set it up in that way, so then if they want to sign up, they can go onto the website, share their screen, and then you can see them and talk them through it. So yeah, you can do that.
That would be a really simple way of doing it, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and that's on their screen. The thing I would say, the thing I was going to move on to, if you're doing a team, so there's you and maybe a dozen, there's 22 people on this call at the moment, is just relax. Okay, just pretend you're face to face, and you might think it's daunting, you might think you get a bit nervous, but I know Hazel as well, you've known by doing it a few times, you just grow into it. You just get into a situation where you're just really relaxed and you're comfortable, and you're just talking as if you're face to face.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and it's great fun. You have a bit of a chat with people, and it's it's as if you are face to face. It gives the opportunity to catch up with people. It's much more personal than actually being on a phone, I think, because you can see the white of each other's eyes.
Absolutely. So on your standard setup as well, you can see up to 25 different people on each page. Again, just be aware that if you've got more than that on the call, then there is a button to the right and to the left where you can scroll through the pages just to make sure you're keeping an eye on everyone who's on the call. Okay, so whilst you're delivering whatever you're saying, just remember it's important just to keep an eye on what's going on the call. So I am going to unmute everyone just in case anyone's got any questions. So if you do have a question, in fact, what I'll do, I'll go back to mute everyone, but I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself. So if you do have a question, just unmute yourself and ask the question, and we'll see if we can answer that. Whilst that is sort of happening, what we want to do from now, because the best way to learn how to do these things is to actually use it. Okay, so what we actually want to do is over the next week, for each of you, if you haven't done a Zoom before, to do a Zoom. Okay, just could be you and one other person, or it could be you if you've got a team of half a dozen, whatever. Call a team meeting. Okay, it's the first step of leadership. Call a team meeting and say, hey, we're all getting on Zoom. Let's go and let's do a Zoom. So get into them, do practice, and let us know how you get on. Peter, you've got your hand up respectively. Thank you very much. What do you want to say?
Is there any cost in registering for the Zoom, Lloyd?
Yes, you've got to pay me £50, and then you get full access to zoom.us for free. Okay. So once I've registered you, no, there's absolutely no cost to it at all. It's a totally free thing, and you can have up to 100 participants. And I'm not sure I've been on a call yet that's got more than that, so that's usually okay for our size businesses. I think head office have got a paid channel where you can have up to 500, but the free account allows you up to 100 people. So yeah, okay, absolutely fantastic.
You would just go to zoom.us, would you? So,
yeah, just go to zoom.us and just register. It's all very intuitive, and you just follow the steps and you can set up an account. All very easy.
The other thing to mention with that, sorry, Lloyd.
Yeah, go on.
was just going to say, the other thing to mention with that is with the free version, which is what I've got as well, is it limits you to 40 minutes worth of call per call. So you can't whittle on for too long. It's quite good because it gives you a time limit and keeps you working to that. But equally, just to be aware, I think there is an upgrade option whereby it becomes unlimited for the length of the call, but predominantly it's the free one is 40 minutes.
You really wouldn't want to do a Zoom call longer than 40 minutes. Even though time goes really quickly when you get into it, especially if you've got really good calls. I try and keep if I'm doing a Teams or Zoom, I try and keep it between 30 and 40 minutes. Sometimes I like to keep it 20 minutes, just to short and sharp.
And it will come up with a 10-minute warning when you're into your last 10 minutes as well. So you know you've got to count down and get moving.
So if I go on here and if I sign, so I've gone to zoom.us, okay, and if I sign out of this account, I hope this doesn't copy me off. If it does, Hazel, you're in charge. You can see if I just go to zoom.us, it will say sign up here, it's free. You just click on there and it just takes you through the registration process. Okay, so it's very simple and straightforward to do. Anybody else got a question? Somebody's waving at me. Is that Natalie? I can see you hand up and you're unmuted, so you go first.
Can I just clarify? So if you're doing a one-to-one Zoom call, so if you're maybe trying to sign up a customer who's 100 or so miles away, there's no time limit on that call?
Correct. There's no time limit on a one-to-one. Just give them your code, you both log on, and away you go.
3 or more participants, Natalie. 3 or more participants is where the time limit kicks in.
I'm just thinking of people signing up friends and family who don't live nearby. 40 minutes would be tough, I think, for a full-on appointment. So that's useful to clarify. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oana was.
Oana, you're now unmuted.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
I just want to ask you. I only used Zoom on my phone, so I'm on my phone with you now. I just went on Zoom on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to sign in.
Mm-hmm.
I signed in with my Google account, and now it says join a meeting, and it asks for a personal link name.
Okay.
Because on the phone I had the link from you.
Okay. So the link is just the number. So what
do I do? Yeah.
So all you would do is you just type the number into it where it's asking you for the link.
Okay. So
at the end of every link. At the end of every link, Joanna, there's a 10-digit number. So it's just that 10-digit number at the end of the link that you can see. Just copy it.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's it.
All clear. Okay.
My Chris
is gonna die. So.
Okay.
Chris, you're on.
Right. The question was, if you've got a PC that's as old as mine, do you need a separate webcam? To be able to do the Zoom, obviously.
Now you're getting very technical, but in that case, I would say yes. So obviously, if your laptop or PC doesn't have a built-in camera, then you'd have a separate webcam, and if that was the case, you would know better than I how to set that up.
Right.
But I would be comfortable that the Zoom software would detect that and just find your camera however it does it.
It does, Chris. That's what I've got. I've got a webcam actually on top of my PC that's just plugged in at the back of the computer, and I've never had any problems with it. So yeah, go and get yourself a webcam and sit it on top of the monitor, and it'll go from there for you.
Okay, cheers.
Cool. Anybody else or anything else? Anything else you'd like to add, Hazel? I know you've used Zoom quite a lot. Anything else you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to kind of really endorse what you were saying in terms of what a fantastic tool it is. I mean, I've got team members all over the country, and I'm using it increasingly now for one-to-one meetings, for team meetings, for for just being able to communicate with people rather than picking up the phone. It feels so much better to have a chat, or even a three-way meeting, you know, with a couple of team members I've done reasonably regularly, and everybody seems to get a lot out of it. It's a great way of having a conversation without having to try and kind of juggle backwards and forwards, and we can all kind of participate together. So I can't recommend it highly enough. Get used to it, get onto it, try it out. Even if you're just your husband or your partner's downstairs and you know you do a Zoom call with them from upstairs to downstairs or something, it doesn't matter what it is, just get used to it, get using it, and you will be amazed at the different areas in which you can use it. But I think again, using the telephone appointment concept, being able to do a Zoom appointment is infinitely better than just doing it over the phone. So yeah, really important that everybody gets used to it, I think.
What I would say is that this doesn't replace a face-to-face meeting. So
Absolutely, yeah.
I would still 100% of the time, if you want to do a one-to-one with a team member and they're local to you, do they take the time to meet up for coffee and have that one-to-one interaction. Same with a appointment that's local, do get in front of them. But at the same time, even if an appointment is local, and let's say, and Hazel, you'll know this better than most, if you're a busy mum and you don't have time to necessarily drive half an hour, do an appointment and drive back half an hour, sometimes when the kids are in bed, it's 10 o'clock, you can jump on a Zoom with someone you know well, and you can do an appointment there. So you've just got to use it the best to your particular circumstance, and just so it works for you. So
absolutely. I think, you know, for example, if you're a single mum, you've got the kids are in bed, you've got the evening to be able to do activity, but you can't actually physically leave the house because the kids are in bed and you've got nobody to cover, then, you know, that's another great opportunity. If you can't get people around to you, then Zoom them. You know? But I agree, face-to-face is always best, but this is a good second.
And just a final word before we go about mobiles and tablets and stuff like that. So Zoom has got an app, like everything's got an app, and again, it's very easy to use. If you've got a link, clicking the link usually powers everything up. And I'm sure some of you here are watching from a phone or a tablet. You can do Zooms. If you're 4G now, you can do Zooms on 4G. Just watch your data. It doesn't eat up too much, but do watch your data. And so you can use this out and about as well. Okay, and if somebody's doing a Zoom, often if I can't get on a Zoom, I've logged in, I've killed my camera. Sometimes I'm driving and I've got Zoom there, and at least I can listen to it and get that important information and stuff like that. And I know, for instance, Tom, Big Al Schreiter and Keith Schreiter do a weekly Zoom as well. Okay, so this is international. You could be anywhere in the world and do or watch a Zoom call. So embrace it, make the most of it, do use it. Let's feedback on how you've used it, because it's a great tool to have to enable you to just ramp up building the business. If you meet someone and they want a presentation, no need to wait for the op or anything like that. Just get them on a Zoom, speak to them, show them the business, and away you go. Cool. So last reminder, using Zoom, we do a weekly Zoom op on Thursdays at 9:30. It's every Thursday, 9:30, come rain or shine. It's the same thing. It's 20 minutes long. You can just send people along. They can see an overview of the presentation, and they can make a decision whether they want to get involved and do something with the business. So please do support that. And the idea also is to have a rota of that. So if you want to take part and get involved in that, just let me know and we can put you on there and put you on the big stage, and so you can help creating your own business. Any questions?
Likewise, this one is every Sunday night as well, 8:30. Don't forget to plug this one, Lloyd.
Yeah, this one. What do? We alternate between a skills call and a newbies call.
Yeah.
And again, every Sunday 8:30 we're here. So watch out for links and stuff. And we will. What I've actually done now is created a utility warehouse Zoom login with a view of getting all the codes the same for every meeting. So as long as you know the times, you can log in, and whoever's hosting it can log in and be the host, and then we know where we are and we can move forward to that.
Great.
Cool. Thank you very much for Hazel for coming on the call. We'll see you tomorrow at NHQ, and I'll see anybody else who's going to NHQ tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see you soon at a kickoff or Express Day somewhere. Have fun and go build your business.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lloyd. Good night, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.